Here you watching Kevin TV, aka Garden of the Galaxy. Today we're gonna talk about sorcery and protecting your energy of the women that you dealing with in these days of time. Well, I've been telling guys, but it doesn't matter. Some are, hard-headed. But we ain't gonna get too deep into, about how hard-headed most men is. This most men are weak-minded. They got a spell on them. And you got certain people worshiping deities and gods and all this other stuff. So you see a lot of that going on. We living in a dangerous world where most men, they're easy to be persuaded, easy to be manipulated, easy to be taken control over. That's why I don't hang around most men. Most men can't be trusted. They got the spirit of lust, the Jezebel spirit of lust on them. And they easy to be persuaded, and that can be a dangerous thing. Women can manipulate them for whatever reason that they can manipulate them for. That's why today we're going to tell you how to play the game. Because society is all a trap. It's all a game, and it's all a trap for most men, especially the black man. I am your Garden of the Galaxy, Rocket, a.k.a. Mr. Know-It-All, a.k.a. Casual Cav. You got to be casual about a lot of things when it comes to most women as far as being nonchalant. If you see them, be attracted to your friend or somebody that you hang with, and if a guy know that, instead of him knowing that, oh yeah, she's a slut, she like to get down with the fellas and do this and do that, he trying to build his own relationship or whatever that he trying to have going on with her, because most of the time, most men will be desperate and lonely, and most women play off their emotions. It's all about who you is as a person, and she'll take advantage of your weakness if she see it. You have seen women manipulate a guy for murder and all kinds of things that have them, discombobulated, in trouble. I always been different for most guys, stood out, whatever. Might seem like I'm ranting, I'm an arrogant person, but I'm finna get to the point. Back to being casual. Being nonchalant, like you don't care about what's going on with the situation around you. Be aware but act unaware. Because women can work on your weak point. As far as knowing too much about you once you expose yourself. We back to one because I didn't go to rule number 2 yet. We're still on 1. Maybe I got to slow it down a little bit because most guys are slow. From the beginning of time, most women look at most guys like they caveman idiots. They just feel like we don't know how to use common sense and discernment on certain things. And that's one of our curses. That's since the Garden of Eve days. But we can go preach about that. So I'm just trying to sum it up. Like I said, rule number 1, work on your weakness and don't expose any of it. Being attached to certain things can cause you to be a real clingy, needy person as far as wanting to be fulfilled with, you want to fulfill your loneliness, and if women know that you're lonely and you're desperate, sometimes she can use you and your friend to fight them against each other. Women will fight for a few weeks and end up being right back friends, next thing you know. But guys can hold grudge and end up killing each other over some vagina, some wore out vagina, matter of fact. That what brings me back to saying everything in society is a trap, especially for the black man. 2, you got to recognize everything that's being weaponized against you, not just as a man, a black man. Throughout my journey, I studied most things, just because I might felt like I wanted certain things to be a certain kind of way. And, I exposed my feelings, and I said things that I wasn't supposed to say and let down my guard, but I always had it in me to just hold certain pieces and parts of myself back from certain women. And one thing that they didn't know, out of all the women that I dated, none of them know that I'm going to be one of these guys that's holding back certain qualities that I really want to show for one woman. And that's what you got to do. You got to have one chosen one. You can't just give out all your attention and your money, your time, and all the special qualities that you want to do with certain females, and you don't leave memorable moments with them. You don't give them a chance to have memorable moments with you, especially if you're not taking her serious, and especially if you don't feel like that she's worthy of having those memorable moments. The psychological thing is you'll go back to reminiscing, missing her. So on a psychological level, to break free from that, you don't give her no special time. You give her the regular. Sex ought to be regular. You ought to have your standards up for this so-called chosen woman that you plan on spending the rest of your life with, marrying or whatever else. You hold things back. So rule number 2 would be don't expose too much of yourself. Exposing too much of yourself make you vulnerable, make you weak, and you will be exposed for it. We're going all the way up to 4. Rule number 3. Set your standards up so high that she have no choice but to abide by it or get lost, kick rocks. You the man. You show her that you got standards. Not just accept whatever behavior or whatever shapely body of a woman, come in your life. And I never did those things. I choose with cockiness and arrogance, by being picky. That's rule number 3. Make sure you're more picky than most other guys. We also on rule number 3. Don't let other guys influence you behaving like them. Because there's a lot of weak-minded guys out there. And most women will feel like, you just a typical guy, just like all the rest. So if she can predict those other guys' moves, make sure she can't predict your moves. So if you gotta disassociate yourself away from certain guys that move a certain kind of way, or that's giving you a bad name, or she looking at you like you a thirsty, desperate fiend, a pussy worshiping fiend, and then she gonna put you in the same category as them. She gonna look at you as a pussy worshiping fiend. So if you gotta X out most guys to keep from a woman looking at you the same way, you gotta do so. Because eventually, she gonna look at you just like them. So to keep for yourself from being in that category, be mindful of the people that you hang around, the guys that you hang around. I always say that, I stress that enough. And that's what you gotta do. Number 4, ignore the shaming tactics. Female might be like, oh man, why you single, you must be gay, or there must be something wrong with you and all that. Stay away from that. Ignore it. And what I mean by ignoring it, just turn your whole back away from the whole conversation. Like this. And we're back on 4. Rule number 4. Keep from trying to be seen whenever that you don't want to be seen. Stay away from these live events where, these women want to play these thirsty games and they want to wear all this bullshit just for your attention. And it's for the guys out there that can't control themselves. If you are working on temptation, stay away from places and people that's overly sexualizing things. Don't hang around guys that's overly sexualizing things. If you're trying to call yourself fasting or whatever, by you not dealing with women or having sex or doing anything like that, and you trying to spiritually cleanse yourself, you ain't gotta do that. You gotta make sure you stay around pussy worshiping fiends. No guys is always talk about sex 24/7, 7 days a week. Always trying to, influence your mind like you need a woman, or like they control your penis or whatever. No homo. Or should I say no diddy. And we still not finished with 4. Still rule number 4. Value yourself, man. Value yourself and love yourself. Show these women that, they're not better than you. Because, a lot of these women are evil. They want to play battle of the sexes. They want to look for something to cry about in society because their life is miserable. And you can't give them that energy. You can't feed them that energy. It's just like you feeding the beast. Most of these women got a beast inside them. You got to feed them that bullshit ass energy. Oh, you a typical pig. You this, you that. Like, these bitches be jogging all around in the fucking park and shit, and I ignore them. Why should you ignore them? Because you're not giving them your energy. And that's all I got to say about that, man. This world is a trap. You know what I'm saying? Everything is being manipulated. Everything that we once knew is being tainted, and it's fucked up. And that's all I got to say about that. Until next time, man. My whole thing is getting this message out or whatever. I made my channel the way I make it. You feel me? So, For each his own. Not trying to preach to nobody. I'm not trying to be no pastor, no love coach, and all this other bullshit. But I'm just giving you my own experience, you know. I always held back all my personal feelings and all the things that I want to have for only one special person, because I had trust issues, and all the women got the regular. That's why a lot of them burnt out, bitter, and mad at me right now to this very day. And I did it on purpose. I did it to the point where they won't come back. Because if I know that I don't want to talk to you ever again, I'm going to do bullshit in the relationship to make it worse. Because women like to play get-back games, and I'm not the one to do that with. Once you play get-back games with me, you might well end it, because it's already over with. And I'm going to do something to the point where she won't have no memories of me. Well, I'm going to be so dirty to the point where she going to end up hating me. And that's my whole plan. And I'm saying it to all the guys out here. That's another psychological warfare tactics. If you don't want no female coming out the blue, messing up your relationship with you and another female, and you know you got good relationship qualities or whatever, and you bail on her when you find out that she ain't pregnant or whatever, always use protection so you won't have no screens attached, none of that. And that's what I did. I made sure that, hey, I didn't make no mistakes. And some guys get caught up in the moment. Never get caught up in the moment. Because you don't know if that moment, it'd be a terrible decision to fuck up your future for the rest of your fucking life. So, you live for the moment. You look at it as if she living for the moment. So you treat her the same way she looking at the situation with you and her date. You treat her as a moment female. She looking at you as a guy for the moment to have fun with. Basically what I'm saying, you take the level, however level that she take. You know, take the level however she take it. How she up the level as far as how she treats you, then you do the same thing. And don't let your weak ass emotions get the best of what you actually seeing. Sometimes we as men, you know, ignore the red flags and let our personal feelings get involved with what we want to happen. Oh, you know, I think she's attractive. I want to be with her. I like her. And all that bullshit, that's another deception. Or your weakness. The eyes can deceive you. The eyes can be the thing that curses you. You know, so don't let your eyes curse you. Excuse me. You curse you to the point where your judgment is not accurate. You're not smart on what you actually making the decision on. So don't be a person that have poor judgment. Be discerning. Look at the person spiritual. And so that's what I do. I look at her spirit, and I don't let a woman taint my spirit with what she want. I just, you know, sit back and observe. You know, don't get too comfortable with them. And that's what you should never do. Never get comfortable with a woman. Because everything is temporary. You know what I'm saying? Once you find out that, you can keep yourself being disappointed or mad and all this personal issues about what she doing and how she acting towards you and what she want. None of that shit won't matter. But she won't matter. Like I said, get them all the regular sex, your regular time, your regular energy. Keeping it simple. The moral of the story is keeping the shit simple, giving them the regular, whether it's the sex, your time, whatever. And that's all I got to say about that. Until next time, be smart. Play the game. Don't let the game play you. I am Guardian of the Galaxy, a.k.a. Rocket, a.k.a. Mr. Calvin TV, a.k.a. E.T. Phone Home, Mr. Extraterrestrial. That's all I got to say about that. Until next time. Meow.